Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life Wisdom, a place where we share stories, lessons, and perspectives to help you live a calmer, more meaningful life. Let's take a moment to reflect and enjoy today's message together. Power of silence. Today, we will explore a topic that may seem very simple at first glance, but in reality, it contains a tremendous transformative power. That is silence. In our fast paced, noisy modern world, silence has become increasingly rare. Every day, we are surrounded by endless sounds and distractions: the roar of traffic on the streets, the constant notifications buzzing from our phones, conversations in the office, background music in cafes, and even the restless whispers in our own minds. We are so used to being immersed in noise that when we suddenly encounter a true moment of silence, it feels almost unusual, even startling. And yet, it is precisely in those rare moments of stillness that we recognize how precious silence truly is. But silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is not just a quiet room or an empty street. Silence is a state of mind. It is an inner strength that has the power to change the way we see life, the way we communicate, and the way we grow as human beings. Let us take a deep breath, pause for a moment, and together discover the power of silence. 1. Silence. Not emptiness, but fullness. Many people, when they hear the word silence, immediately think of loneliness, emptiness, or even something frightening. They imagine silence as a void, as an absence of connection, as something lacking. But in reality, silence is not empty at all. It is, in fact, full of presence, full of clarity, full of meaning. Imagine sitting quietly for a few minutes. No phone, no music, no conversation. Just you, your breath, and your awareness of the present moment. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. The mind may wander, thoughts may race, or you may feel the urge to check your phone. But if you allow yourself to stay with the silence, you will notice something beautiful. Silence is not blank, it is alive. It contains countless subtle experiences: a memory resurfacing, an idea gently appearing, a realization about yourself, or simply the feeling of being at peace. Silence is like a canvas. From a distance, it may look plain, but when you step closer, you see colors, textures, and hidden beauty. Silence is where inspiration is born, where the soul can breathe. It is a gift we give ourselves, a space for the mind to rest and for the heart to heal. Heart 2. The power of silence in communication. There is an old saying: silence is golden. And indeed, in communication, silence often carries more weight than words. Think of a heated argument. When we are angry, words come quickly and sharply. If we speak without pause, our words may cut like knives, leaving wounds that are difficult to heal. But if we stop, take a deep breath, and choose silence in that intense moment, something shifts. We give ourselves time to calm down, to regain clarity. Later, when we speak, our words are gentler, wiser, and more constructive. Silence is also a form of deep listening. When someone shares their struggles, they don't always need advice, explanations, or solutions. Sometimes what they need most is simply for someone to listen, quietly, attentively, wholeheartedly. Just by being silent, nodding, and listening with our eyes and our hearts, we tell them, "I am here with you. You are not alone." There are people who are skilled speakers, able to persuade with powerful words. But there are also those who possess what I call the talent of silence. They speak little, but their silence radiates calm, safety, and understanding. Their quiet presence communicates more than words ever could. Number 3. Silence and wisdom. Throughout history, silence has been revered by philosophers, spiritual leaders, and wise thinkers. Many of the greatest minds recognize that silence is not weakness, but wisdom. The wise know that not every situation requires debate, not every conversation requires proof of being right. Sometimes, silence itself is the highest expression of intelligence. A wise person knows when to let go of useless arguments. They do not waste energy on trivial conflicts. They let truth speak for itself. After all, truth does not need to shout. It simply is. And often, it is silence that gives space for truth to be seen clearly. Think about it. When someone says something unfair or unkind, silence can sometimes be more powerful than responding. That silence becomes a mirror, forcing the other person to reflect on their own words. In that way, silence becomes not avoidance, but a subtle form of teaching. Sometimes, silence is the deepest answer. Hammer 4. Silence, where the soul heals. Why do people travel to forests, mountains, beaches, or temples? Beyond seeking adventure, many of us are drawn to those places because they are quiet. In silence, we rediscover balance. When life feels overwhelming, silence becomes a sanctuary. In a quiet space, we can face ourselves, old wounds, hidden sadness, or unspoken fatigue. If we do not run away from silence, but instead allow it to hold us, healing begins. Many who have faced loss or tragedy find peace in silence. After the passing of a loved one, after heartbreak, after failure, words from others, though well meaning, may feel too small. What comforts us most in those times is not advice, but silence. Silence is vast enough to hold our pain, gentle enough to cradle a broken heart, patient enough to let wounds heal slowly. Silence is medicine. Not the kind you buy in a store, but the kind that arises from simply allowing ourselves to be. 5. Silence to understand oneself. The world teaches us how to connect with others, but rarely teaches us how to connect with ourselves. We know details of our friends' lives on social media, yet we rarely pause to ask, what is going on inside me? What do I need? What do I truly desire? That is why we need silence, to truly listen to ourselves. Silence is not isolation. It is not rejection of others. It is returning home to ourselves. In silence, it is as if we are looking into a mirror. We see clearly our habits, our fears, our hopes, our untapped potential. In silence, we can recognize what is holding us back, and we can begin to change. Without silence, we may live reactively, constantly responding to the noise of the world. With silence, we begin to live intentionally, guided not by chaos outside, but by clarity inside. 6. Silence and creativity. Have you ever noticed that your best ideas often come when you are quiet? Maybe while walking alone, sitting by a window, or just before falling asleep. Silence clears away distractions. Without noise, the mind becomes like an open sky. Thoughts are free to wander, connect, and create. That is why so many artists, writers, musicians, and scientists value silence. For them, silence is not emptiness. It is the birthplace of inspiration. Mozart once said that the music is not in the notes, but in the silence between them. Similarly, in writing, in art, in science, silence gives space for something new to emerge. If you want to create, learn to be silent. When to be silent and when to speak. Silence is powerful, but wisdom is knowing when to use it. Be silent when angry, so you do not harm others with words. Be silent during meaningless arguments, so you save energy for what matters. Be silent when listening, so you can understand fully. But there are times when silence is not strength, when you witness injustice, when someone vulnerable needs protection, when truth needs to be spoken. In such moments, staying silent is not wisdom, it is complicity. True strength is knowing when to speak and when to be still. 8. Practicing silence. How can we make silence part of daily life? Not by moving to the mountains or abandoning society, but by small practices. Set aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. In conversations, practice listening more than speaking. In your work, turn off background noise sometimes and let silence sharpen your focus. Before making decisions, pause in silence to hear what your intuition says. Over time, these practices transform silence from something rare into something natural. Silence becomes not an escape, but a skill, a way of living. Takstrom 9. Silence and love. In love, silence has its own language. Not every feeling must be spoken. Sometimes love is shown through a glance, a gentle touch, or simply sitting side by side in quiet comfort. Think of two people in love, walking hand in hand without saying a word. That silence does not mean absence of connection. It means presence of trust. It means I feel safe with you. I don't need words to know you care. In families, in friendships, in romance, silence often speaks louder than words. It is the language of the heart, understood only by those who listen deeply. Nabsher 10. Conclusion. Silence is not cowardice. Silence is not indifference. Silence is an art of living. It helps us remain calm, nurture the soul, heal emotional wounds, spark creativity, and cultivate wisdom. In silence, we reconnect with ourselves, rediscover balance, and find our true voice. In a world overflowing with noise, seeking silence is not retreat. It is strength. It is a return to inner power. And sometimes, silence is the most powerful voice of all. Thank you for listening. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share to spread positivity. See you in the next video on Life Wisdom.